to this morning's early riser special. And it's a Sunday morning, which means excitement and thrills all the day through. In case you didn't know, it's a day of rest. It's the Sabbath, as they say. Watch out, everyone, they say. Today's the Sabbath. Today's the Sabbath. And that's the day where we all throw Bibles at one another. Just remember that. Keep that close to your heart. So, I got up this morning early. Hello, G. And I'm playing a poker tournament right now. Hi, Bubble Puppy. You're in the Philippines, huh? Wow, you must feel a lot like Douglas MacArthur. Because Douglas MacArthur, obviously, was the general in charge when the U.S. lost the Philippines to Japan and then returned as he promised. Not really a very good general, to be honest, General MacArthur, but an excellent dictator. He was basically dictator of Japan after the war, and he did an excellent job of making them into a Western style free and civil society. General MacArthur turned the Japanese into weebs. I'm not sure that they can be weebs. They have to be otakus. Only Westerners can be weebs. Hi, Winston's mom. I'm playing the early morning riser tournament right now. And I got lucky right near the beginning of the tournament. So you basically double up on somebody because I flopped a straight that seemed unlikely for me to flop. And he went all the way in. Fair point, but your point still stands. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, no sage. So I went to the dentist on Friday. No, Thursday, I think it was. But a different dentist than I went to before. This dentist, I'm going to get the implants done at the dentist in Mariposa instead of Coarse Gold. And he's going to take a different approach. Like the Coarse Gold doctor, he wanted to do everything in one day. Like take out all these teeth on the top, do all the 4 implants, and put the thing in one day. Koimi Koismi says 10 years ago when I was 10 years old, 110 years old when I was 10 years old. So that means you're 120. And anyway, this guy is going to do it gradually over the course of an entire year, is what he said. It'll be a year before it's all done and I'm all healed and everything. And so this upcoming Friday, a week from 2 days ago, I have another appointment where he's going to go over all the financials. I have a feeling it's going to be a little more expensive here, but I'm getting it done up here anyway. I like the dentist better. he's not a TE Don. I don't know what he is, but it's just that I just the other dentist he was like ENTJ, maybe ESTJ. I don't know, probably ENTJ. And he didn't make me feel smooth and juicy. Oh, right. Take the first letters of someone's name and play with it. Like, is that the poem thing? Like, every retard instructs Charles would be my name. I won playing poker the other day. I won $800. That probably puts me about even on the poker since I've been playing since it came out here. Maybe I'm a little ahead, but not a ton. But that was nice to win $800, and I just immediately deposited it. I mean, transferred it from the poker site to my bank account. So every retard instructs Canada. That's better. I like that one better. We're young and not stupid. That's a non-starter. Man, offer more. That's good, No Sage. I appreciate your effort there. Winston's mom, I would have thought that's too long of a name to even do. Love you too, darling. Vincent Arens, I'm doing well. Arens. I have to fold to this guy. Take it. I don't even want that pot. My pocket threes isn't going to do me any good with that board. I'm going to raise to 3 big blinds with my ace queen offsuit. I got re-raised too much. I raised to 3. I one caller, and somebody raised to 15. I just folded because he almost surely had ace king. I got ace queen, yeah. Canada? More like America's hat. is, is that what Canada is? America's hat? We tend to think of north as up and south as down. But really, they're not above us, They're just above us on a map. Hi, Mina, Mo. I did. Just stop. Don't start spamming. Don't start spamming. Frank's apples never taste a sweet taste, including cranberries. You're welcome, Mina, Mo. Is it Mina or Mina? How do you pronounce it? Meena, Mina? Or Meye, Mina? Mina. You, sir, I forgot to ask, do I like Jefferson Airplane? No. I mean, I don't dislike them, but no, it's just whatever, some old band that isn't relevant. You want to see, oh, it's Mina, huh? You want to see a band I like? Here's a musical artist I'm very fond of, Johnny. I think he's a real genius. My neighbor is loud and obnoxious. Now I know how Canada feels. True. I'm sure Canada does feel that way. No, I don't drink alcohol at all, Evolution. I quit drinking alcohol 11 years ago. Which is, um, coincides pretty well with my, I guess you'd say, regular activity on the YouTube channel or uploads. The channel's older than 11 years, but the actual period of time when I put out videos is about the same as how long I've been sober. Makes it kind of easy to know how long I've been sober. Yeah, my liver and kidneys are all fine. Yeah, everything about me is fine. Yeah, I definitely, it was taking a toll on my body for sure when I did drink alcohol. Alcohol's really hard on you, on your body and stuff. If you drink, for me anyway, I just, I started getting wicked hangovers. When you're an alcoholic like me, you're, the last stretch of time there, I was either drunk or hungover. I'm 54, but I've lived hard, so I look older than I am. My wife, interestingly, she's 40. She got carded the other day. That's how young she looks. I'm not Santa v. Greta. So obviously, sometimes people wonder about us, I think, when they see us together. Like, what's that old man doing with that young girl or something? But there's a 14-year age gap in our relationship. It's not that much at this age. And it kind of feels like we're the same age to me. Because, I don't know. It just feels like we're the same age. Sometimes I forget that Rachel's past isn't as long as mine. Fine and never tardy. Tawdry. Fine and never tawdry. That's Fatty's name? Fatty? Yeah, I think that's right, Winston's mom. Winston's mom says, maybe because Rachel's an older soul and my soul is pretty new. Whatever that means, I think that's correct. You could argue that doesn't mean anything, but whatever it means, it feels correct to me. Rachel's very risk averse, very safety conscious. That's part of what I think makes her seem older than me, whereas I tend towards, well, let's just do whatever and it'll be fine. But Rachel makes me a lot more careful. I know that when she's in the car, I drive generally more slowly, and she's easily frightened by stuff. You're a creaky mess. No sage equals needs oil, so all gears energize. You need Diddy to oil you up, huh? So, obviously, winning $800 in that poker tournament makes me go, well, that's cool. It makes me want to play more poker or continue playing poker, I guess. I actually am playing less poker, which is why I think I'm doing better of late. Partially. I've just also gotten better because I played so much poker. No soul seeks extermination. You forgot about the A and the G. You did mess up, Vincent's mom. You forgot 2 letters. Two whole letters you forgot. What's up with that? I should fold this. I know I hit the flush. I should fold that. I had top pair, but he kept calling, and on the river, that third spade fell, and I just knew. I'm toast. I'm just going to fold to his bet here. That's why I'm a better poker player than I used to be, right? Like, it was obvious when he called on 2 streets that he was on some kind of a draw, and the only clear draw that was there was spades. So why call his value bet on the river at all? He's definitely got it. I didn't used to be that good of a poker player. I would just say, well, it's not that big of a bet. I should just call it, I guess. And then I just learn the bad news every time. People don't tend to bluff on the river very much. It's like if they've been bluffing the first couple streets and they get called, they usually give up on the river. Like I will. You know. My beard suits me, thanks. I got it at Beard's Emporium. Some people think you don't get as good quality of beards at the big box stores like that, but I think Beard's Emporium has the best selection. Plus, I've always liked Emporia Quantum, which is, of course, the plural of Emporium, I imagine. How many Emporia are there in your city? I should have called that. I would have gotten a flush draw, but a criminal and collaborator in atrocities. Wow, okay, so that's what your name stands for. You're a real bad lady with ill intentions. Very wicked, no sage says. I agree. You're very wicked. Your enthusiasm for atrocities. You're not supposed to like those, Acacia. Atrocities are bad. I guess you forgot that somewhere along the way. So I finally just gave in. I had no choice. I just gave in. And I got HBO Max. It was convenient because I could just add it on to my existing YouTube TV, which I did. I like that. I wish I could just add Netflix and Crunchyroll and everything to my YouTube TV. Then I just have a one-stop shop for all of my TV watching. Oh, is Game of Thrones on Max, HBO? Why don't they just call it HBO like it's always been called? Why do they have to call it Max? Just go with call it HBO. Addressing conundrums and concerns in Answerland. That's an excellent, excellent name, Acacia. I appreciate that. My name stands for eventually realizing it's cool. I'm concerned, but then eventually I realize it's cool. I'm gonna have to poop pretty soon. Oh, good, actually. So the poker tournaments, they take a break every hour at 55, from 55 to the hour. And it's 47 right now, so I just have to wait 8 minutes to poop. That's not too bad. I can wait 8 minutes. Am I gonna watch Game of Thrones? Um, I wasn't planning on it, but I could. What I am watching is this fantastic show, hilarious show called Peacemaker. It stars John Cena, I think, is his name. He's like a wrestling guy, I believe. He used to be a wrestler. And it's a very funny show. Apparently, it's a DC Comics thing. I'm not. It must be a if they're faithful to whatever comic book this is, then it must be a recent comic because it's like fully woked out. Got the black lesbian couple as one of the main characters is a black lesbian. It's got the whole post woke agenda inclusiveness to it, which is not a bad thing. I'm not, I never thought that was a bad thing, right? I think it's bad when they force it on shit. Like they forced it on Wheel of Time on Amazon. They made a mini series or whatever you want to call it of this massive and fantastic book series called Wheel of Time, which was like 15 books long. I like Winston's mom's breakdown of Acacia. Acacia can be summed up in 6 letters, 6 words: apples, cabbages, anvils, cleavers, impalas, and antelopes. And that basically sums up all you need to know about Acacia. Yeah, it's true. I think of all of those things that I just listed, Acacia is most fond of anvils. Kim likes Kim licks his vacuum. Kim licks his vacuum. Observes that I'm bald. What you should say is, "Get out of here, Baldy. Get out of here." That's what you should say. Yeah, she does. Acacia loves dropping anvils. What you doing here? I'm just watching the birds and dropping some anvils, motherfucker. Word. So it's kind of great to have a new show that I'm enjoying. HBO seems like a good thing to get. I'm just a nugget offering soiled eggs, to be honest. Yeah, can we just get rid of the Max? Why do they have to be Max? HBO is HBO. It's always been HBO. Just let it be HBO. It's like when they had Hulu called like Hulu plus 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 or something like that. Why just call it Hulu? So as you may or may not know, tomorrow is a big day. The kind of day you want to write home to mom about. Does he have aces? I think he's either got aces or he's got me out kicked. I had a pair of kings with jack kicker. I folded on the turn. No, it's the 11th, Winston Bomb. That's what makes tomorrow the big day. It happens to coincide with the baseball game. So we're going to have to drive to Sacramento, which is 3 hours away. And we're not going to stay overnight because we're going to be sprung. We're just going to drive back home. Remember, I wanted to stream later today? Did I? I might. You know, the day before getting Adderall is a weird day. Like, you get a little bit pre-sprung knowing that the drugs are coming. It's been a long sleepy week. It's been a solid 2 weeks of sleepy week. With Rachel doing as much of my Adderall as she does, there's no way I can extend it past 2 weeks. Even when I'm being conservative, it seems it lasts exactly 2 weeks every time. Yeah, the pre-spins. That's a good way to put it. I got the pre-spins. It goes from having the morbs to having the pre-spins to having the thwacks, you know. Tournaments on break. Okay, do you have the morbs? I know. I've thought about that, Winston's mom. I have thought about that. I want a time lock safe because I can. I cannot seem to exercise, restraint by. Because sometimes I have in the past, like I did for Vegas. I take some of them and set it aside and say, okay, these are for this date going that's going to be during Sleepy Week or something, and I cannot not take them. It's crazy. Pneumatic tube delivery. I just end up taking them. It's like, okay, well, I can get one out of that bottle that I set aside right now. Before you know it, they're all gone. So I would need to get a time lock safe if I wanted to do that. Or just really try hard, I guess. I don't know. I like that square picture you got there. What is that? Is that one of the emojis I made? Is that Sasquatch? Or you want an ancient Mayan death safe? Using the magic of indigenous people, the Mayans created a safe that would open up, that would know when you were going to die and would open up just 30 minutes before. So you could offer your offerings to the goddess Exochilt. All right, I'm gonna put you guys right here. You can look at these curtains. I'll turn the lights on. You look at those curtains. I'm gonna poop. Wow. Okay, I'm back. Let me just wash my hands. My relatives used to say wash on my mom's side. Like my grandma. And instead of saying roof, my grandma would say rough. I guess that's like old time Missouri accent or something. They were curtains, you hear? Curtains. I can't believe I was so dumb when I put those curtains up. I put them up above those doors rather than on them. I need to move them. Fortunately, I used those sticky holder things that don't leave holes in your wall, because I can't drill into these walls because they're metal and it's difficult to drill through them. I didn't have poop on my hands. I just had poop near my hands, so I washed them. I just prefer washing my hands, and I prefer the kitchen sink in general because, it's a better sink. You can move the thing around, you can pull it out. It's nice. It's a good sink. It's a pleasing sink. Hi, William. How are you? I hope you're fine, and how do you do? I'm straight fibbing. I'm a straight fibbing. You can't believe a word that I say. I'm straight fibbing. Can't you be ribbing? No, I'm just fibbing. I'm a liar today. I'm straight fibbing. I'm a straight fibbing. That's pretty good. What's that from? What is that's not from the today, is it? It can't be from today. I think I would remember if I did that today. Must be from some other occasion. Reads all chats, helps everyone laugh. All right, well, I've fallen out of favor here in the tournament, but I'm still doing okay. I'm 41 to 51. Just fold. Just fold. Do not call or go over the top. Just fold. I want this guy to fold. He called. Great. Well, at least I got an ace on the river. If he bets, oh, that's the problem. He didn't bet. I'll bet. And he's folding. Okay, good. It all worked out in the end. It was a little bit scary there for a second. I'm straight fibbing. I'm straight fibbing. I'm number 22 of 51 now. So this is a $30 entry tournament. And it's got $6,000 as the guarantee, which means I dropped a piece of weed. Which means that the total prize payout is $6,000. So like first place probably gets $3,000 or so, and then the other 3,000 is probably spread out amongst, say, 20 other people, maybe less than that, maybe 10 other people or something. So if you get the min cash though, it would be like $50 or something, $60 maybe. It would be the min cash. And usually it's like, the next one would be like $70, etc. And then but it starts making bigger jumps as you get closer to first place. I could read out the prize thing actually if it says it up here. So prizes. Okay, so actually, how many people get paid? 11 people get paid. 11th place gets 150. 10th also 150. 9th 171. 8th 225. 7th 288. sixth, 366, fifth, 468, fourth, 591, third, 768, second, 1173, and first, 1650. So that's the prize pool currently, but there's still like an hour before rebuys are done, maybe more than an hour. Let me see if it says that. So, hour and 10 minutes left for late registration, which means you have a nice application. If the total amount of entries adds up to more than $6,000, then those prizes will increase accordingly. So the guarantee is the minimum of the minimum amount that will be paid out in the tournament. If in fact too few people register and the total amount of entries adds up to less than $6,000, then the site still has to pay out $6,000. But that never happens because they know very clearly how many people are going to register and what's a safe guarantee and stuff. The guarantee is just there to like give people some idea of what the prizes are going to look like, payouts or whatever you want to call them. They're called prizes here because of this legal loophole that they're using. But it works, you know. I trust the site. It's legit. It's totally legit. And I'm sure it's making a lot of money because, you know, I entered this $30 tournament. They get $3. They get $3 from everybody who enters the tournament. And there's currently 54 people, but there's more than that total entries in the tournament. And they don't have to do anything. It just does this. They set it up and maintain it in case there's some sort of problems. And they have got multiple of these tournaments every day going on. Over $500,000 in total daily guarantees. So they're making a lot of money, for sure. And that's not even including the cash games where there's a rake. And it's a very reasonable rake. But I don't play cash games because I'm terrible at playing cash games. It's very different playing cash games than tournaments. I'm definitely a tournament specialist in the sense that I can't, yeah. I don't know what personality type they are, Broccoli Todd. I know that they were both bullied relentlessly. You do know. They were ISFP and ISTP. It's a depressing thing to think about. They were actually bullies, not bullied, according to some. They were bullied. But it's a depressing topic. I think nowadays schools are do a much better job of managing the interactions of students. School is just a fucking nightmare. It's a holocaust of race violations. I'm doing all right. I'm 25 of 56. I got 45 big blinds. I think it's fair to say I've played very smart. Didn't get attached to my top pair with a good kicker when I wouldn't prevent shooting. It would just mean more of a firefight, right? Uh, which may be a shorter firefight, but it's hard to say. Okay, got queen jack of spades. If this guy checks, I'll bet three big blinds. I'll raise it. I'll call his raise. He only raised it to 2.18 big blinds, so I'll call that. We got two callers to the thing. Okay, so the flop comes out 9-5-8 rainbow. There is one spade on the board, so I got a backdoor spade draw. But I got two overpairs to the board. If it checks to me, I'll bet. He bet small. I'm gonna fold. Since I'm just on a draw, which didn't hit on the turn. That's what I mean by playing smart. Yeah, I'm playing smart today. Playing smart means folding, basically. This was a terrible place to try to put this, Eric. Your TE is amazingly shitty. You bet I flop out for the rainbows? Well, I'm not exactly sure what that means, but okay. Here's my shirt. You guys can just have my shirt to look at. Aye. Oh, I see. Gay. Right. Like the homosexuals, you mean? Well, that guy got a full house. We got 33 big blinds. Looks like I'm in 34th place out of 61 people. Why can't people fight one another anymore? Always some weapons involved. Well, I don't know. I'm not much of a fighter, so I wouldn't know. People think the opposite of a fighter is a lover, and they say, I'm a lover, not a fighter. Really, the opposite of a fighter is a talker. I'm a talker, not a fighter. If it gets down to fisticuffs, I'm in trouble. You can just, you can mark that one down as trouble. My theory on that is that regular fistfights require some level of trust and mutual respect in society. Why not fight to the death? By any means necessary if you don't know what the other will do. That's a good observation, no sage. That somehow fistfights are indicative of a healthy civil society. Interesting, an interesting perspective. I don't know if it's correct or not, but I like it. It sounds right. Feels right. Well, I got Queen Jack of Hearts this time. I'm going to play this hand. I got 36 big blinds. Looks like I'm number 29 out of 62. So I'm right in the middle of the pack. And today no one trusts anyone, and everyone hates each other. Says no sage. That's a pretty bleak perspective on the present. Those two shooters are extroverts, from what I read, just rub people the wrong way type extroverts. Like they would be the type of guys say some weird stuff to someone's girlfriend type stuff. They weren't nice dudes. Well, obviously they weren't very nice. If they, I think we don't need to know anything more than about them other than the shooting to say they weren't nice. That was pretty mean of them. Well, they accomplished their goal. We're still talking about them today. So they're the most famous instances of such a thing. We don't know the names of anybody else who's done that, right? I can't think of them, but we know their names. Being atomized as a society? What is that term? It's ego that drove them to it more than to hurt victims, more so than a hurt victim lashing out. Well, I mean, in their rhetoric, it certainly may have seemed that way, but given that their plan was kamikaze in nature, it's hard to imagine atomizing everyone doing their things as individuals rather than as communities. Oh, I think the healthiest expression of society is where individuals um, autonomously engage in freely formed and kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Amorphous communities like this, right? This is a freely formed amorphous community of people who individually decide to hang out together on the internet. It's a healthy community accordingly. There are no there are no expectations on my end anyway that Mia is gonna show up or Mia, except for maybe Winston's mom. I noticed that she's not here for a while. It was quite the hand wringing when she had something wrong with her computer. To go all in. What's he got? Set? No, he's got a flush draw. Now he's got a straight draw. I win. Whew. Big all in. I won there. Now I'm in 16th place out of 60 and feeling much more comfortable with my 57 big ones. Playing smart. Playing smart and getting clean run out. That'll get you to heaven. Okay, well, this is a nice looking board for me. I've got ace six of hearts, and the board's ace queen jack, two hearts. That's pretty good. But nobody called me, so what a sad era when it's easier to smash an atom than a prejudice. There needs to be some balance between freely formed and shaming for nonconformity. There has to be some way of enforcing norms or groups can't cohere. Well, I mean, look at the way of enforcing norms around here is basically decided by me and executed by me and the moderators. So the community's mores are really there to exclude certain prospective members. So, like, let's say some random troll comes through and asks me if I want to see a tree grow. If you could imagine them as a prospective member of this group, but this group is entirely it's an entirely volunteer army. Like, there's no there's the absolute minimum of expectations. And as far as excluding people, well, we exclude people who are here just to vandalize shit, basically. And there exists a certain percentage of people who are here just to do that. But we don't ban people in general unless they cross some pretty clear, bright lines. I'd say this is a very a space that's very inclusive of controversial opinions and things like that. The kind of things that are worth caring about, protecting somebody's speech, Identity politics makes sense when others engage in it against people with one's own identity. I mean, the only kind of identity politics of any sort that makes any sense is typology. Typology is the one way you can know about somebody because you know about their group. It's the only way. That's the only thing you could do with it. In every other instance, you're conferring onto the other person some identity that you made up in your head because of what you think about that group. But with typology, you can hate people legitimately. If you're gonna hate somebody, like hate a certain type or whatever, you can at least give good reasons why, because that type all is consistent about meow, meow, and me, right? And it can be honest and accurate. So that's the only way in which you can do group above person. I mean, granted, there are exceptions, like if you go to war against another nation, well, you can confer onto the enemy the status of enemy because everybody's trying to kill each other. This channel of host Eric's doesn't waste tons of time talking about other people and what they do wrong. That's huge online, including finding a channel. What's wrong with my reading ability today? Where we can have satisfying conversations, interesting conversations, not just talking about how other people get it wrong. Right. I mean, I do a little bit of that, but when I'm doing that, I'm not saying this group of people or that group of people is doing it wrong. I'm saying evolution is wrong. And people who believe in it are wrong to believe in it. I'll say stuff like that. That's one of my pet peeves, of course. The people who are here now well know that this is one of my pet peeves. I'm not a fan of evolution. It makes me a little bit mad sometimes. Not right now, but sometimes it does. And God forbid, I just like how they prioritize the identity group and not personal accountability. Like if someone's a douche, they're still your comrade if you're a commie. And God forbid somebody has money, automatically deemed evil and greedy even when you don't know the person's character. This is my issue with groups. Here I am, that's all incredibly wise and true. You get a check mark for correctness from Eric. Here I am, and what are you as an individual going to do about that? You have to act in concert with others. No, you don't. That's not true. I mean, I am acting in concert with others right now because it's a live stream, right? But I could upload a video of just me talking about something. That's acting not in concert with others. The first thing I'm going to do when I go to the dentist, when I get dental work done, is I'm going to get a cap on this back tooth. It used to have a cap on it, crown, I guess you call it. Uh, I, well, I got two pairs, so I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't bet big. I want to see a showdown here on the river. Winnie W. God damn it! What is he at? Don't tell me he's got better than me. He's got a flush. He flopped the flush. God damn it! He played that really well. He got as much out of me as he was gonna get out of me. But I still have 50 big blinds and I'm 21st place out of 65. You uploading a video has no power except on its own except to influence the views of others, which might influence voting, which is the exercise of power. You can't control who's in the group at a certain point, no quality control. Well, yeah, I can, but YouTube makes it very easy to do that. So, like, um, especially, it is true that you're going to have to rely on some moderators once you get to a certain size, right? But voting is not acting in concert with other people. Voting is you saying what you want. Everybody acting individually, and it's set up in a structure such that all those individual votes are counted, and then the majority wins, you know? That's not acting in concert with other people. Acting in concert with other people is like the Amish building a barn, right? All these people are all working on the same project with the same goal. Voting is not an example of that. This is acting in concert with one another towards the goal of, instead of raising a barn, determining what's correct. So working in concert with others doesn't always have to be cooperative work, but it does have to be interfacey, right? When other voting blocks are based on identity and necessarily exclude your identity, then you're screwed if you don't negotiate with the people who are in your cohort to seek your own goals. But how many people actually, what work would they do? What work are you imagining them doing? Because besides talking, building coalitions, okay, well, I'm not saying that you're wrong about people. Some certain individuals try to build coalitions, but here they come, my brothers. Deniz Galur. Who are they? Harold says I was butting heads with someone. Do I want to bet this? No, I don't. Uh, let that one go. Are you on board with the idea the father should vote for his household? Who has that idea? One of the goals that MacArthur was supposed to accomplish post World War II in Japan was the enfranchisement of women. And I thought that was great when I heard that. Like, when you see the things that Douglas MacArthur was tasked to accomplish in after World War II, let me find the list of it. It's like 6 things or something. List of things that Douglas MacArthur was tasked to accomplish in Japan post WW2. The key objectives were, I want to see exactly what the words are. Oh, god damn it. Alright, I have to play this hand of poker. I'm getting distracted. gonna go all in with the check raise. God damn it. He's got queens. I've got a pair of jacks. I get fucking god damn it. Now I've got 12 big blinds left. Alright, well, chip in a chair, as they say. Um, okay, so it says here, in 1947, Allied advisors dictated a new constitution essentially dictated a new constitution to Japan's leaders. The most profound changes in the document included downgrading the emperor's status, making him just a figurehead, promoting greater rights and privileges for women, renouncing the right to wage war, which eliminated all non-defensive forces. But I can't find the exact document that I'm looking for. But what it says here basically is include demilitarization, democratization, and economic reform. But most of all, most importantly, it included it did as much individualization to the culture as could be done to the Japanese, it's a very utilitarian culture. I mean, a communitarian culture. Anyway, one of the specified things that MacArthur was supposed to do was enfranchisement of women in Japan. It would be silly to think that nowadays we should somehow, you know, go rescind suffrage. It's just crazy. People are people these days are not very concerned with upholding real American values in their rhetoric, like protecting rights and stuff. Let's see here. Not necessarily philosopher, kings, and guardians, but people with skin in the game and some wisdom of how things actually work. Not children because they don't know anything, and not women because I'm Christian and believe women have no right to exercise authority over their husbands or me. Okay. I don't even know what to say about that. That's just silly. I mean, I grew up in a home where my parents where they had different ways of being equal, but they were definitely equal. My dad generally led the family and what we did and stuff like that. Well, my mom always had veto power, and when my mom stomped her foot and said no, there was no getting past that. And I was raised expressly on the notion of what's good for the goose is good for the gander. My parents both said that a lot. I heard that plenty of times growing up. Yes, Big Daddy, you have a question. I'm proud of you for having a question. I think that's very impressive. I have an answer. So see, it would seem we are well paired. You have a question, I have an answer. What more could you like? Coolest forever. Are you really the coolest forever? So I have no chance of ever becoming the coolest? Would you make love to another man to stop all wars? That question is ridiculous because one could never predict correctly that having sex with a man would end all wars. It's a utilitarian. The mistake in that question is utilitarian. So I'm happily married to my beautiful wife, Rachel, which to whom I'm committed. And were I to, and there's no way to do something that's wrong, like cheating on my wife, uh, and justify it by appealing to the outcomes. That's utilitarianism and is inherently wicked, that way of thinking. Yeah, atheist channels, religious channels too. Just get over it. Christian nationalism is a patriarchal ideology, Eric. J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth, and some of the Broscape Online and the Manosphere promote this idea. Well, that idea is stupid. I'm sorry to tell everybody, but that's just how it is. I'm going all in. This could be the end of my tournament life. No, I wouldn't seek permission from my wife. I wouldn't engage in that kind of utilitarian thought at all because it's wicked. What, people cannot predict the future accurately. There's no way to accurately predict that this action of mine is going to end all wars. Pretending like you could accurately predict that in order well enough to justify your bad behavior is silly. Oh, I just died. No, I don't want to rebuy. Played as well as I could, I guess. Things just didn't go my way. Should I start another one? When is another one start that I want to play? In an hour, I could play 22 PKO. Or I could do the weekly challenge day one. Day two is later today. Should probably do that. Well, I'll play that. That's in an hour and 15 minutes. Christian nationalism would be cool if we weren't so Catholic. Yes, I will do that. That is true. If you do what Weston Baum says, I will follow those instructions. All right, now that I'm freed from this spot, let's go walk around a little bit. Tomorrow's a big day. Got a baseball game we're going to go see. And we're going to see it with a couple of channel people, Zandy and Ike. Isn't that nice? I'm looking forward to it a lot. Oh. I already had one big poop this morning. Do I have another one in me? I might. Might be a two poop Sunday, as they call it. Just another two poop Sunday. Whoa, whoa. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, evolution really chaps my hide. Like, why does everybody believe in it? Oh, it's so frustrating. But it's fine. That's what I think about evolution right there. That's a pretty clear perspective on it. I think we can all agree with that. Well, let's walk around back. I could put some socks on and do a small mortar pour. I want the mortar wetter than it was yesterday because it didn't pour very well. Hi, squirrel. There's a bunch of squirrels because I put out seeds. I'll give you some more seeds right now. Just hold your squirrel horses for a second. All right. Well, so I don't want the squirrels to have to hold their horses for too long. So I'll give them some more seeds right now. Yes, squirrels, I am the hero that you're dreaming of. I'm giving you free seeds. There we go. You know what they say, happy squirrels, happy life. Plants are starting to bud out pretty good. Still have a ways to go, of course. A couple weeks at least for the first one to maybe be ready. More like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Maybe even a month before that one's fully ready, but maybe 3 weeks. One in the end. It got a fast start. So the budding, it was an early bloomer. There's some tall plants too. Look at these things. Keep in mind that I am very tall. And this is above my hand, a good foot above my outstretched hand. That's pretty tall, huh? I don't have my glasses. Yes, you guys are really winning the Plant Olympics. I'm very proud of you. You are the bounty of nature. The bounty of nature is here. Doesn't really smell at all yet. Such bounty. Of course, don't count your chickens till they're hatched. But, so far so good. I've given them a lot of water. I think that's helped them get so big. And I planted them originally in steer manure blend. Dug a pretty deep trough for them. Filled it with steer manure blend. Trough. I think one thing that a lot of people are missing in their life is troughs. They don't have enough troughs in their life. I would like to have a mortar and pestle. Is that what it's called? I think so. That's another thing we don't have enough of these days. What am I supposed to grind up my drug mixtures in? If not a mortar and pestle. Is that what it's called? This pestle sounds wrong. All water at some point this morning. Let's see what time the athletics come on. Let's find out. Where did I leave my coffee? Did I take it with me back here? I filled up one trash can. No, I don't see it back here. So it's gotten time to move another trash can, an empty one, over here. And then move the full one to the deck. That's something that we'll do in a second, but let me go pee first. I might even have some more poop in me. Certainly I've been gaseous this morning. Like a cloud. Alright, you burb, Winston's mom. You burb your butt off. Why does open pit barbecue sauce taste like glorified ketchup? Because it is glorified ketchup. My email in those age is what Winston's mom says. Right there. I'm going to leave you guys here while I go to the bathroom. This time, instead of looking at curtains, you can look at this piano. has these times McGee. Alright, fellas, just a second. Alright, I am back and better than ever. Some people call me the man of the times. Piano is kind of a silly word, etymologically. What does... Where did it come from? Gone now. Go on and eat now. Okay, I guess we gotta watch the cat eat. There you go, kitty. Now you have an audience of 9 people plus me. All watching you eat like you like. He's purring, so happy that everyone's watching him eat. What is it? He speaks of the pompousness? Is that what he says? The pompousness of love? McDonald's tastes so good. Oh, you're making me jealous. I wish I had McDonald's. McDonald's breakfast would be nice. Piano is a shortening of piano forte, which means soft loud, because piano, unlike older similar instruments, which pluck the strings, could be played both softly and loudly by hammers. Yeah, that's what makes it a percussion instrument. I like the fact that it's called soft loud because okay, it's kind of stupid, but it seems like in the olden days people didn't name things very well. Open pit sauce used to be a bold, spicy, masculine sauce. Now it's just weak as hell. Would you call it weak sauce? Piano forte. Like that. Of course, we converted piano forte to piano. You gotta play one of those Italian pianos. Alright, in a second, we're going to switch from this exciting activity to another exciting activity, which I like to call cutting a peach. If you thought watching the cat eat was exciting, just wait until we play Cut the Peach. It only sounds dirty. So for this tournament I'm going to play in an hour, they've got multiple day one tournament entry possibilities. And the top 10% of each of those tournaments advances to the second tournament. And the second tournament starts at 1:30 on Sunday, which is today. So I think I'm going to enter the tournament that can qualify. It's a satellite, basically, to qualify me for the later tournament. Because the later tournament is 100,000 guarantee. So the top prize will probably be, I don't know, maybe $20,000. Maybe $15,000. Depending on how many places pay in the later tournament. Yeah, trout's eaten. Now I'm going to cut the peach with a regular knife. I'm still here, still watching you. Yes, you're eating so well. Everyone's very impressed. Do you want me to change your water? You like it when I change your water. Here you go, buddy. There. Now he's drinking his nice fresh water. He doesn't make me watch him drink water. I don't know why. Maybe because it doesn't take it as long to drink water. Alright, here's our cutting board. We're going to use this knife here. Let's use this knife. I'm going to clean it just by rinsing it and wiping it down a couple times with a paper towel. Okay. Now I've left this peach out of the fridge for a while, like overnight, so that it'll be not cold and just kind of have a little bit more time to ripen. But it should be about perfect now. Bottom's sticky for some reason. Oh, maybe top of that is a little sticky. Okay. Not really sure how to cut a peach. Oh, you want a better view of the action, you say? Okay. Okay. Still not coming off really. So let me cut more slices of it. Why are you so determined to stick to the middle here? Alright, well, I guess so just do this. Okay, this part I'll just throw away. Now here's going to be the big surprise that you weren't expecting. Look what we have here. I bought this at the store. These are melons. We'll put this in here with the melons. And then I'm going to go have a nice healthy breakfast of fruit. Peach is good. pretty pleased with my using everything. Yeah, Fly Guy. Next time I get peaches, I'll do a better job. I got 2 peaches and 2 nectarines. Fly Guy's right. This peach did not ripen properly. Even though I took it out of the fridge, left it out overnight, it wasn't enough time, I guess. The melon's not very ripe either. It's kind of unfortunately. Kind of unfortunate. You're gonna make your own barbecue sauce from McDonald's? The melon's not ripe. Mmm. Mmm. Peach is a little hard, but it's very good tasting. Cause in another life, I heard that song in the supermarket yesterday. What a sad song. One that got away. Thank you for your concern, Fly Guy. I will do my best to not injure myself. I'm going to leave this out. Melon and peach with the lid on. There. Well, I'm just going to leave this up there on the windowsill. You cannot possibly want me to watch you eat more. What will satisfy you? How much eat watching will satisfy you? If I watched you eat for 10 years straight without stopping, would that satisfy you? The silly boy. Yes, Daddy knows. Oh, yes. Your father knows. And I am your father. How much are you going to eat? The live stream I have watched you eat for such a long time now. Are you finally done? Have I watched you eat enough? Looks like I finally fulfilled my duties for watch eating. Maybe. I guess it's eat watching more than it's watch eating. Now we'll watch him drink. Oh, yes, drink your water. It's so delicious. Where's my coffee? I totally lost my coffee cup. And we have literally like 0 more cups. Okay, we got these 2. There's 2 more cups. 2 more regular coffee cups. And then I got a couple of irregular coffee cups. People know what McDonald's is? McDonald's? Never heard of it. What is this? McDonald's, was it? I've never heard of this place. Is it some kind of hardware store or what? So, Fly Guy, obviously you're wrong. I don't know what McDonald's is. I've never heard of it before. I guess I might be the exception, but yeah, I've never heard of this place. Maybe it's some kind of Irish store. So like St. Patrick's Day stuff. That might make sense. It's a store that sells exclusively St. Patrick's Day stuff. The St. Patty's Day store. See, like this person's friends and relatives saying, I really think you're overestimating the popularity of St. Patrick's Day. Everything is green. At the St. Patty's Day store. Okay, well, I just inferred with my incredible inference abilities that it was a place based on how you were talking about it. Some people go out with the title shooting for 20,000 subs. Okay, well, how about then Fly Guy aiming for 20,000 subscribers? Or is that still too suggestive of gunplay? How about aspiring or closing in on 20K subs? Or Kiero, 20,000 subs so bad? Like that? That was a fully satisfied cat there. He got exactly. Usually he gets my half-assed, okay, I'll watch you for a second, then you just need to eat by yourself, you baby. Usually he gets that from me to some extent. This morning he got like the full indulgence. I watched him eat 2 separate occasions the whole time that he felt like eating. Very patiently did I watch him eat. Let me get my glasses. I like that title, Winston's Mom. I didn't get my glasses. What am I doing? I got the pack of cigarettes that I don't need to have in my hand. Or I could say, I'm this close to 20 million subscribers. Yeah, exactly, Lord Slim. Because I went inside, and of course, inside, I can read the chat without my glasses, which I read, and then grab my cigarettes to come back and comment upon, which I already had a cigarette in my hand. Glasses are just cigarettes glued together. Boy, I have really made quite a substantial change to my diet. I've had to cut out the sugar almost entirely, and yesterday I had a candy, a piece of candy, and it tasted so sweet. It was like too sweet. I could hardly eat it. Yes, I explain what's wrong with the new law in Arcadia, just as I would today. Mr. Kitty over here is just enjoying the sun. jealous of my peachy melon breakfast. Well, you were right, though, Fly Guy. It was not really ripe. It should have been. And I somehow knew that, but I didn't pay attention to what I knew. I knew that somewhere in me that you're not supposed to put a peach in the fridge or nectarines or stone fruits, except for plums. I don't know. It seems like my mom always put plums in the fridge, but not the other ones, maybe. But I just ignored what I knew and put it in the fridge anyway. A lot of fruits like that, if you want it to ripen properly, you gotta leave it out. All right, well, we've got a task to do. So let's do that task. You might ask, what is that task? Well, actually, I told you earlier. So apparently you weren't paying attention. The cat is not an INTJ. The cat is an ENFJ. He's very clearly got SI polar. So he's looking at exactly what our task is right now. Yeah, the cat's an FE Dom. He's very talk oriented for a cat, you know. He uses his words all the time to communicate with us, whereas the other cat, she's FE polar. She's not very talkative at all. Let's just put this cigarette out. Go put this trash can over there and get another trash can to bring back. Excuse me, Trouble. Sorry to bother you. Have to move this trash can. Yeah, he's a big cat. He's not bitching and complaining. He's always telling us what to do. Let him outside. Watch him eat. And when he's not telling us what to do, he's like hovering around me like a dog. Right, well he's got different meows and different FE approaches, right? He'll give me the stern, controlling meow. Meow. But then if I'm not responsive to it, he'll switch to meow. Meow. Eventually he gets me, you know. He's just trying to push different FE buttons one after another. But we go around this way. There. Hi, squirrels. A couple of squirrely squirrels here. Eating seeds. Let's stop and look at them. One squirrel. Two squirrels. Two squirrels came to my seed party. And the blue jays, I think, are active around there as well. It wasn't able to show you them because I think they flew off when I walked over. This trash can will go here next to the kitchen door, which is right next to where the trash comes from a lot of times. So it's a convenient place to put it, right? It's a smart place to put a good TE. And now that we get our trash picked up every 2 weeks instead of every week, I just don't really. I never really wanted trash cans by the front door, but I just thought, well, this is the most convenient place to put them. Now, now that I'm using a trash compactor, like most of the trash bags come through the kitchen, so I might as well just have one here. The rest of them I can leave on the patio where we don't really go, I mean the deck. Juggling fame. Being actively suppressed. Your phone wants to correct juggles to jungles. Nobody should juggle chainsaws. Juggling fame is being actively suppressed, huh? By the anti-juggling. I said jungling myself. The anti-juggling brigade, the AJB. I think I'd like to become a juggling ventriloquist who also does mime. If I did those three things, could I be famous? I I'm a five-way triumph. Acting, singing, juggling, ventriloquism, and mime. I can juggle. I can juggle three things with a regular juggling. It doesn't matter which three things, Winston's mom. Any three things. Okay. Let me prove you wrong, Winston's mom. Tell me that this isn't compelling, okay? You can juggle three women in the sitcom. I want them to do a woke reboot of Three's Company with all of the three people being gender fluid, and the song saying, "Where the kisses are theirs and theirs and theirs, Three's Company too." Climbing a rope. Exactly. I was climbing a rope. Do the wall next, huh? I ran into a wall. I was walking along just fine, then I ran into a wall. Mr. Roper getting sued for homophobia. He just gets canceled, right? And he shakes his fist. You darn kids! I'm old, racist, homophobic. I know. That's why you're canceled. Thanks, Tatiana. High fives are all around. Well, I'm off to participate in the RuPaul's Drag Race. It does matter if the three things are an elephant, some jello, and a hot summer day. Okay, I'll admit I can't juggle a hot summer day. It has to be physical objects. But I could juggle Jello and an elephant. If the elephant were small enough, it would have to be no bigger than this. Miniature elephants. If they could make miniature elephants, that would be great. Miniature elephants, miniature giraffes. You know how they've got miniature horses, right? But what don't they have? Miniature cows. Why not? Because nobody wants a smaller cow. Why do people want a smaller horse? I don't know. How did they come about? They're probably just a different species to begin with. Or the same species, but a different, you know, breed or something. What if the hot summer day was a snow globe? Well, then that would be fine. But then it wouldn't be a snow globe, it would be a sun globe. And instead of having snowflakes that fall down on the globe, it would be sun particles. So you can keep them inside like a dog. Well, I mean, I want them to be like this big. Like miniature elephant that's like this big. Like you can hold it in your hands. And it would be friendly. No, elephants are fine. They're used to being in the sun. They just need a water pond that they can squirt on themselves when they get hot. If I said sun particle glow, everyone would be confused, like if I said open pit barbecue sauce. I don't know. I think I would have figured it out, Fly Guy. I think I would have figured it out. Maybe not instantly, but I think I would have figured out what sun particle glow means. All right. I think I'm gonna go lie down, see if I can get a little bit more sleep, and if I can't, then I'll get up and play poker maybe. So good night, good luck, and goodbye.